Alright, so wrapping up multiplying rational expressions today. So I got 4 problems I want to go over with you on this video, and there'll be a quiz on Schoology that you need to complete. So again, big thing that we've been talking about all week is first, state the restrictions, okay? And you got to use the original denominators. So again, first thing I'm going to do here is figure out these restrictions. So we got x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0. This is a perfect square trinomial. So we can factor it in x plus 3 times x plus 3 equals 0. So you only need to do this once, x plus 3 equals 0. X cannot equal negative 3. And you don't need to say any multiplicity stuff and whatnot. This is all for graphing purposes, really. We go to look at the graph. I just want to know, negative 3 there. There's going to be a discontinuity. So let's go to x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. Factor it into x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 0. So when you have x plus 2 equals 0, x cannot equal negative 2. So those are my 2 restrictions on the denominator. So next up, we got to factor this. So my numerator up here is a difference of squares. So we go x minus 2 times x plus 2. Denominator here is x plus 3 times x plus 3. Numerator up here is x minus 3 times x plus 3. Again, difference of squares. And we already factored this in x plus 2 times x plus 2. So when it comes time to simplify then, again, you can skip this step if you just want to start reducing stuff down to 1 up here. That's fine. I just want to leave this looking nice so you guys can see it. But again, we got x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 3, x plus 3. Alright, and this one's a good one, just because you have like so many repeating binomials, stuff that looks the same. You can only go 1 for 1. What I mean by that is, this x minus 2, there's no other x minus 2s. But then x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 is 1. Okay, you can, did something like this yesterday. If I have 4 divided by 4 times 4, that's 4/16, which would reduce down to 1/4. Okay, I can't just like say, oh, this is all 1. It's just 1/4. Okay, you can't do like a 1 for 2 deal here. Okay, then you got x plus 3 divided by x plus 3. All right, so you go to write your final answer here. We have x minus 2 times x minus 3, and then we have x plus 3 and x plus 2. And x cannot equal negative 2, and x cannot equal negative 3. If you want to multiply these together and rewrite as x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by x squared plus 5x plus 6. Again, x cannot equal negative 2, and x cannot equal negative 3. All right, so again, my suggestion on these problems would be, if you're getting good at it, write these down and see if you can do it. Pause the video as you go, rewind it, whatever. But make sure you're doing these problems and you're not just trying to do the ones when you get right to the quiz today. All right, so next up, something kind of similar. Just wanted to throw in some different types of factoring with this stuff. Okay, so again, first up, get those restrictions. So we got x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. So we're looking for factors of 16 that add up to 8. So 4 and 4. So x plus 4 times x plus 4 equals 0. So that would you can just do 1x plus 4 equals 0. So x cannot equal negative 4. Over here, x squared minus 25 equals 0. So x minus 5 times x plus 5 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. X cannot equal 5, and x cannot equal negative 5. So those would be your 2 restrictions there. Or you have 3, sorry, negative 4, negative 5, and positive 5. All right, so to simplify this, Right here you have x squared minus 5x. So this is a GCF. I'm going to factor out an x from both those and get x times x minus 5. Again, took an x from both those. Down here, we get x plus 4 times x plus 4. Already factored this denominator. Again, this numerator here, you can't factor anything. X plus 4, that's just there, okay? You can't do anything. I just put it there to show you guys, like, hey, maybe sometimes you're just going to run across something that you can't factor anything out of. All right, so let's simplify this. So my numerator, I have x, I have an x minus 5, and I have an x plus 4. My denominator, I got 2x plus 4s. And I got an x minus 5, and I got an x plus 5. So when it comes time to start reducing this stuff, you get an x minus 5 divided by an x minus 5. X plus 4 divided by x plus 4 is 1. So I'm left with x divided by x plus 4 times x plus 5. You can rewrite that as x divided by x squared plus 9x plus 20. And x cannot equal negative 4, negative 5, and 5. So that'd be the answer that I'm looking for. I'm going to type in the answers into Schoology like this. I think if we get rid of the parentheses, it gets rid of some clutter. All right. Next up, get those restrictions to start. X squared minus 3x minus 28 equals 0. Factors of 28 with a difference of 3. We're going to go x minus 7 and x plus 4 equals 0. So x minus 7 equals 0 and x plus 4 equals 0. So x cannot equal 7 and x cannot equal negative 4. On my other one, 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. I'm going to go 2x plus 5, and then x minus 1, so that we get a minus 2x and a plus 5x. So 2x plus 5 equals 0, which means 2x equals negative 5. So x cannot equal negative 5 halves. And x minus 1 equals 0, so x cannot equal 1. All right, so you do have 4 restrictions on this one. Let's go to factoring. So my numerator over here, I'm going to factor in a 2x plus 5, and then x minus 7. That'd be minus 14x plus 5x to give me my negative 9x. Divided by, down here we already said x minus 7 times x plus 4. Up here it's a difference of squares, x minus 4 times x plus 4. And my denominator, 2x, was it 2x plus 5 times x minus 1. Okay. So there's your complete factoring. Maybe pause the video there. Make sure you're good to go with all the factoring. Next up, we want to simplify. So I'm just going to write all these out in order. So 2x plus 5 divided by 2x plus 5 is 1. So those reduce down to 1. We get an x plus 4 divided by an x plus 4, so that's good. X minus 7 divided by x minus 7. So we really reduced a lot here. We're left with x minus 4 divided by x minus 1. X cannot equal. We got a whole list of stuff here. We got, we'll go in order, ascending order here. So we got negative 4, negative 5 halves, 1, and 7. All right, so those were the 3 big ones. one short one I still want to do with you guys. You'll definitely see something like this on the quiz then. All right, but again, the most important part is always getting those restrictions first. So we'll do 8x equals 0. So that just means x cannot equal 0. X minus 3 equals 0. X cannot equal 3. Not much factoring here. The only thing is factor out a 4 up here. I think for the sake of, as far as you got a lot of coefficients here, something we haven't done a lot before, I do like when I multiply everything out. I think it helps with all the simplifying. So 4 times 20 is 80. And then you got an x minus 3. I wanted to put the, I'm going to go 80x cubed, and then the x minus 3, sorry. In the denominator, I have 8x, and then the x minus 3. So my final answer, 80 divided by 8 is 10. X cubed divided by x, I take one of those x's away, so I have x squared. X minus 3 divided by x minus 3 is 1. And x cannot equal 0, and x cannot equal 3. That's your final answer. All right. So again, I would practice these problems all again. Do them all on paper. Don't just watch it. Okay. Any questions? Email me. I also posted on Schoology a discussion forum for this week. So that everyone kind of see like who has questions, and I'll be more than happy to make a video to try and answer those. Okay. Have a good day. Bye.